Chamber of Commerce. I believe that through hard work and perseverance, many things can be done.
We're going to look at the Ahmaud Arbery case, and we're going to look at that case in the little boy from Wisconsin. I won't call his name, but we're going to look at it and talk about how we as blacks are still struggling in the justice system, which is supposed to be a just justice system, and it's not. So we're going to do that. I'm getting to a point where I want to see the young people take the mantle, take the light, take the torch, whatever they got to take, and run with it.
So ask yourself some tough questions,
We are here working together. As Dr. King says, we're all in this boat together. We're doing great things. But we still have a far piece to go.
1619 on down to today, we need to know history. And we need to teach it. We need to show the students and teach them about what happened in this country. We can't sweep this under the rug.
We have to adjust to taking our mental wellness just as seriously as we would take our physical wellness.
Good evening. It's Monday night, and what do we do on Monday night is Urban Sentinel Live. And I'm your host, Reggie Kearney. I want to welcome everyone to the Urban Sentinel Live show. Hey, we got another powerful show tonight. I should have used the OJ song, Money, 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 as intro tonight. But, okay, I just go with what I got, okay? But I'm glad to be here tonight, and I appreciate the viewers for tuning in to another great show. Tonight, I have with me Don Brown, who's the money man, CEO of Brown Financial Freedom Legacy. And I think it's very important from time to time to even talk about money and how we spend our money, how we don't save our money, what we need to do to prepare ourselves for a life that will make it easy for us, and we can do it. So that's why I got Don Brown here tonight, because he knows what to do. So Don Brown, Mr. Brown, how you doing tonight? And welcome to the Urban Sentinel Live show.
Pleasure to be here on the night. I'm excited. It's a pleasure to be here. Mr. Reggie, I appreciate the invite and just to be able to come on here and share. That's definitely something that I'm excited about doing, especially about, spread financial literacy, especially to our communities.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you taking time out to join us tonight. So this is where I want to start at tonight. I'm going to start with my age group tonight, okay? I'm a little young buck, okay? But look, check this out. People say, what can people do from age 50 on up, let's say age 50 or even 55 on up, who haven't prepared themselves for retirement or haven't put away that nest egg? After everything we've been through the last couple of years, I think it's important to have a nest egg. So where can somebody from 50, 55 on up, where can they begin to catch up and do what they got to do?
Wow, somebody that's 55 and up that haven't started.
Mm-hmm.
First step, definitely, hopefully they got some emergency funds set in place and, even like 3 to 6 months of expenses, but they definitely want to get aggressive when it comes to mutual funds to be able to. So I'll say this, normally, people look at, all right, retirement as an age, but it's really not an age, it's a number, so if you don't have, that nest egg built up, you're not going to be able to retire at 65 or 67. You're going to have to put in work, so, one of the things that I look at, that I think we really, really need to be mindful of is how can we create extra streams of income? Like we can't just have, one stream of income with our job. We need to be, a little bit more creative, get into the entrepreneurial space or, even looking at some other passive income streams that are out there. Like it's a lot of different things that are available. But the biggest thing that I would say, if they haven't started at all, I would hope they had at least a 401k set up with their job, so if they were in, something that was very, very conservative, because I know a lot of jobs, they don't really tell you which funds to kind of be in. And a lot of times they don't have you in aggressive growth funds. So you're pretty much kind of, getting more type bonds, type interest. You're not getting the 10 to 12% that's kind of been national average over the last 100 years or whatnot. But I would definitely say get into a mutual fund. But the elephant in the room is definitely cryptocurrency. A lot of people don't understand cryptocurrency, but today cryptocurrency is giving people way bigger returns than even a mutual fund would do. So I would say, for an example, you can be in a safe platform that kind of is on autopilot, and they can give you up to 45% per month. So for those type of people, you can kind of get started a little bit with something like that. Of course, when it comes to investing, it's always you gotta know what your risk is, know what your tolerance is, but at the same time, you want to be with something that's reputable, or a good company, because nothing's guaranteed in life, but you want to put yourself in position to be able to have your money grow. So I'll just use the example of the Root of 72. So if they haven't started to invest, the Root of 72 just says how long it takes for my money to double. So if I've been in bonds or even a 4% type account, it's taking way more longer for that money to double versus it would be if you was in a mutual fund that was a growth fund. And even today, the last 10, 15 years, Bitcoin, Ethereum, those things have been around where they've been averaging great returns where people could kind of put their money. But you definitely want to be well diversified. So if I had to say something, be diversified and have multiple things in place. And I would hope they had life insurance in place already, because that's the foundation.
Right. Right.
We want to leave something, we want to protect our income by being able to leave something to the next generation and give them something to be ahead of where we started. We know, for as long as we can look back, they've been using life insurance over the years to be able to create loan wealth. Where people were living off wealth from over 100+ years because their families had life insurance policies in place. They had wills in place. They had trust funds. They had, a plan basically of this is what I want my money to do even after I'm dead and gone. They was thinking about legacy. And that's something in our community that we need to be a little bit more mindful about.
Okay, good. Now, let's digress for a minute. Tell me, what pushed you into deciding to go into the financial area, especially financial literacy? What made you pick that field to go into?
For me, as long as I can remember, I've always kind of was very intrigued about when it comes to finances. And I know growing up, we didn't get this taught in school. It wasn't something that was kind of passed down in my family. So, I didn't know that you should be investing in, and putting money in the mutual funds and stocks and being diversified. So for me, I was behind the curve. So I would say, over the last 10, 15 years is kind of why I was still active duty, after, being in a lot of classes, doing a lot of research on my own. I've done, different classes on base. I've done different financial pieces classes through churches, where you help people pay off, over $2 million in debt. So for me, it's all about how can we help educate our people? Because a lot of times, whether you military, you on your job, you in your family, a lot of that education isn't being passed down. So, for the most part, we need to go seek it out or get around network people that is actually talking about these kind of things versus just focused on liabilities versus focused on assets.
Now, with the virus hitting us in March of 2020, and a lot of people found themselves out of work. Okay, bottom line. Okay, a lot of people lost jobs, and a lot of people had to dip into their savings. If they had savings in order to try to make ends meet. And a lot of people probably used up that savings during that have probably ended up, losing their savings because of what has happened. How does an individual, okay, we already talked about, the need to, for seniors to put away something that, to get started in there if you haven't, what can young people do to be aggressive, okay, to put themselves in a position that in 10 or 15 years they can start looking more towards retirement, okay, than what they are in now. So I'm probably talking about the 30 somethings, 40 somethings. What can they do aggressively that's easy for them to understand and capture as far as the learning curve to be able to move into the lifestyle they want to move into later on as they go down the road?
When it comes to that, I would say COVID taught us how to be more creative. We're resilient people by nature, you know, so a lot of businesses were created. Like a lot of tools and gifts that we have, we already had them. We just wasn't motivated to do it. But a lot of people created businesses, whether it was apparel businesses, you know, investment businesses, you know, people getting with Airbnb or Turo, where you kind of renting your cars out. So it kind of pushed us to not just depend on our job. So those are one of the things where it kind of made us, I think, a little bit more hungry to go create more income. That's one of the things that I definitely say we can do. Is so many things. You got online businesses where you're selling product or, you know, stuff on Amazon and Etsy and different things like that. So it's a lot of opportunities. But say, you know, 10, 15 years, I would say they definitely needed to start in a mutual fund. You know, you will want to get your mutual fund set in place, you know, set up an IRA. So it's some basic things that I think that we need to do in the beginning, which first you want to have some life insurance on yourself to protect your income where it's covered for at least 10 years. So say, for an example, somebody earned, you know, $24,000 a year, they would want to have at least $240,000 just to protect their income, not including, you know, the death benefit, you know, putting some money away for a mortgage or just sending kids to college. So you just want to have those things in place. And then, you know, you want to beef up your Roth IRA. You want to get something like that where it's already after tax money. So now that money is growing tax free, you know, over the next 30, 40 years for those people to be able to get those gains that they're able to enjoy. They have some other mutual funds to kind of help, you know, pursue some goals when it comes to if they want to purchase a house or, you know, some other rental property where they may want to get, you know, like a duplex or a quadplex or something like that, or just for vacations. Like, to me, I think we should plan for that. You know, we hear a lot of times where, you know, they say, you know, you want to go buy a car or something like that. To me, my mindset is now, and I didn't get this growing up, you know, I want to use some passive income to be able to, you know, enjoy some of the things that are just basic necessities versus using just my income. You can use an extra stream of income that's already a business creating income on its own to kind of buy you a car or purchase you a vehicle, you know, in a business name to be able to go on trips and different things like that. Those are things that can kind of be set in place. And then you can't go wrong with crypto. You definitely, people want to do research for one, and you want to be connected with some individuals that have, I would say, some assets to get people to grow their money way faster than it would be traditionally.
Good. Now let's go into the 20-something. I got a 24-year-old daughter at home that we're pretty much setting her up to be able to make, you know, to do well once she leaves home. You know, she came from college and then she got a job. So we kind of say, look, you save your money, do what you got to do. So she's been home now. She's been home now since she's been 21. So she saved quite a bit of money. What could I do to take some of her money to make it work for her instead of leaving it in the bank? And savings accounts not paying that. I don't know, some of them you can't even find 1% in there. So what can I do to move her along and take some of that money to make it grow even more for her?
For her, I mean, the age groups to me doesn't really change on kind of where you would want to put your money at. I would say anybody between 20 to 45, you're going to be in an aggressive, you know, kind of market because you got a long time before you're going to get into retirement age,
right?
Where you're going to be able to draw your retirement. But of course, some people may want to retire at 50, 55 because they, you know, got some entrepreneurial things set in place so they can do that. You know, but people that's kind of just, they're working a job, you definitely want to just have those same type of things set in place. You know, for somebody like your daughter, I would definitely, recommend for her to utilize some of this, because a lot of the millennials, they don't want to just work one job. They are already looking for opportunities to work themselves out of a 9 to 5. They want to have the autonomy. They want to have the freedom to be able to go do what they want to do. And they can still make money outside of just being in the four walls. They could do that on the go. They can be traveling and still earn an income because they created something that's going to be able to create more income. And that could be with a business, and then that's still going to be with those mutual funds. That age group, they're definitely very, very, very heavy when it comes to Airbnb properties. Like a lot of people that I talk to, that age group are the ones that have went out and started businesses in those areas.
Okay, good. Now, you talked a lot about crypto. Now, do you invest heavily in crypto, or you kind of in the middle?
I do very heavy in crypto. I did a lot of research, and I've done some trading, doing some, because you can do dollar cost averaging, with Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the top 20 cryptos that are out there. But they also have other platforms that are giving way better returns. And that's kind of where been my focal point. That's really where, over the last year, I've learned lessons, and I've learned to be very diversified and find the different platforms that are actually stable, and they're still giving great returns. So those are things, I like, to me, I look at having over 10 streams, so when it comes to crypto and then other, whether it's real estate, those are the different things that have been my focal point. Especially, I started a lot of this before I retired, but I went way more when it comes to that since I've retired.
Now, how can I get in? I don't even know how to spell the word crypto. Okay, I'm one of those. Okay, so how can I get involved in crypto and make and be profitable with it?
I mean, the first thing, you definitely have to set up an account, so like the most user-friendly accounts would be like Coinbase or even Cash App. They have it where you can get verified, where you pretty much, they call it, know your customer. So they're going to ask for, address, birthdays, driver license and stuff like that. So they're going to get you verified, and then you can start there. But, when people are just learning, I don't really recommend that. I recommend getting under people that's already have been doing what you're trying to do. And they already kind of have laid out groundwork. They're willing to help and teach. And those are the people that I would put myself with. And that's what I've done over the last year is found who's actually know, you learn it, you learn how to trade, but then at the same time, if I don't want to spend hours and hours doing all of those things, I'm the type of person where I want to put my money somewhere where I can fire and forget it. So I invested and it's already growing on autopilot. So those are a lot of the platforms that I have, been looking to do with a lot of friends. And that's kind of what we've been doing to be successful in that area.
Now, what about the company Cryptocom?
Crypto.com is definitely a great platform. I utilize that as well. Crypto.com is a platform. It's not as easily it's not as easy for people that's new beginners to utilize, but it still can be utilized. That type of platform there is for people that's moving more money. They have higher daily limits than like a Cash App or even a Coinbase. Theirs is normally like 25,000 where you can kind of move if you're trying to move Bitcoin, Ethereum, and you're trying to trade. Those platforms allow you to do that more, but it still has all the other exchanges. So you can buy all the popular individual cryptos there as well.
Okay, good. Now, where do you see crypto, Bitcoin, this type of money in 10 years? Do you think regulation, the government is going to try to regulate it, or what? What's going to happen with it?
You went there. I kind of knew you was going to do that. The government is wanting to regulate it. Will they be able to do it? Some of it, they may have, like, certain individual crypto may have to somewhat be centralized. They're going to be more government sanctioned, because this war that's going on in Russia and Ukraine is kind of showing us how critical crypto is right now. And it's showing us where it's going to be in the next 2 to 5 years. A lot of other countries, I didn't plan on really going over that kind of stuff, but China is already setting the stage for those kind of things, as well as COVID. It already kind of prepped us to kind of go into a paperless society. So you're already being prepared to kind of do digital currency. And that's pretty much what cryptocurrency is, where you can move money, large, transactions of money very fast, and you're not really having to go through the bank or wait on the bank to be able to move that. And it's not expensive. So banks are already utilizing that as well, where some of their short stuff, they're going through certain crypto that they're able to trade too, where they're able to send that from account to account. And that's kind of going to be the new wave. It's being set.
Okay. So I need some vacation cash, but I know I can't take a pocket full of crypto around with me. So how do I cash it out and turn it into cash? The greenbacks.
Well, a lot like they've already kind of planned this out. So like Coinbase, Cash App, Crypto.com, another one I use is FTX.us. They have accounts set up where you can get a debit card. So you can pretty much move your money, and you can use that on your debit card right away. Because they can have it where you can put that in USDT. And you're going to be able to just go to the store and swipe that like it was cash.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Now, I'm looking at on the commercials now, TurboTax, they're talking about being a tax advisor for, if you're investing in crypto and stuff. I mean, how are you going to cover this on your income tax form, man, this year when you file your taxes?
You definitely get with a CPA, but so when it comes to this, you definitely want to get with a tax professional. But if your crypto is still in the market where you haven't pulled it, then you're not going to get taxed on that for that year. Like it's still in the live market. So, that's kind of, even with short-term investments, it's kind of the same thing. They always recommend you to be in an investment over 12 months. And then it puts you in a different tax bracket. So you're going to pay tax regardless, but you can shield yourself depending on how you move, because it's based off of your capital gains. So it just depends on how you're utilizing these exchanges to kind of see, all right, where this account was at, where did it start from, where did it finish at, and they're looking at pretty much, that's kind of why they do what they do, to register you, to be able to figure out exactly who you are. Because they're gonna, Uncle Sam is wanting to get their portion of that. So it's already more regulation that's being put on that.
Well, I know it's doing well because a brother in this area where I live, I'm outside of DC. And every once in a while I see his car. He drives I think he drives like a Ferrari and has his name on it. I forget what he calls it, Bitcoin something. He's pretty big in the Bitcoin world, here in the United States. He lives in this area, but so one day when I saw the car, I was at a shopping center. I Googled it and looked it up. He had purchased the car in LA, I believe, and he paid for it with Bitcoin.
You can Bitcoin, Ethereum. A lot of them you're able to go buy vehicles with. They're already offering that. Elon Musk kind of put a lot of that stuff out there as well with Tesla.
So I see there's a viable source a good source to invest in, but I hope people like this guy won't sell people on a lot of hope that they can get to his level with it.
It ain't gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take work like anything.
You know how we are sometimes. We look at something and we say, oh man, he got that. I'm gonna have that tomorrow. We don't understand that you got to get in the game and play it for a while before you start reaping the benefits from it. Nothing comes overnight, So, that's the only thing, because I think sometimes we go into investments or investing with the idea we're gonna be millionaires, the next day, and that's how we focus on, instead of focusing on the long term instead of the short term, and that's what we really got to do. Yeah. So give me some more nuggets that the people need to know, before we finish up here tonight. Give me some more nuggets, man.
As far
I
as
know you
what?
got plenty of them.
Where are we going?
Wherever you want to go, because we
Um,
really need to focus on investing. We really need to
Investing.
focus.
So that's mainly your focal point. So
Yeah.
for me, investing starts with mindset. So like how you saying, you can't be emotionally driven. So like if you already planned out that I'm going to invest this money, you can't be doing knee-jerk things about trying to pull, especially if the market is down. So like, right now with what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, cryptocurrency has been going down just like the stock market. But you shouldn't pull out while it's down, because now you already solidified that you lost.
Mm-hmm.
Like you didn't lose or win until you actually sold. So, even if it was up, if you didn't take out, you didn't get a chance to actualize those gains. Just like now when certain stuff is down, you're not going to actually lose the money until you sell. But companies and hedge funds, just like, I don't really know if you kind of follow a lot of the real estate hedge funds. They got a lot of different companies that are out there that are just like how you can invest in a hedge fund for real estate, where they're going to give you like a guarantee 8 to 10%, per year. They have the same similar setups in cryptocurrency as well, where they're giving you where you're not really being dictated by the market, whether it went up or down. They already said, I'm giving you this set rate already, so you can kind of already have your mind set in something. Like, I don't say like you have to be diversified, so I wouldn't put 100% of what I was looking to invest into a platform like that. But if once I've already kind of did my IRA, and I already have some dollar cost averaging stuff, so I'm just kind of talking about me, in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Mana, which is some of the things when it comes to, metaverse and a lot of those different things. So you want to have companies that you can invest with for the long term, So like your friend, you mentioned that he had a Ferrari. He sounded like he's somebody that probably got into cryptocurrency 10 years ago when it was low. So a lot of millionaires were created over that time because of them getting in early. And that's kind of how it is even now with some of the new cryptocurrencies that are still very cheap. If you're looking 5 years out, that it has nowhere but to go up, if it's a stable coin. Once you kind of understand the utility, like what it's really doing in society. Is it something that's really going to be stable, or is it something that's just kind of a fad? So those are things that you have to do your research on, or you can partner with people that's already done those different things, and you park your money there where they're already giving kind of guaranteed returns. But you only will want to put a portion in that, and you always it's risk with everything. So you take your profits.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start getting profits, you want to kind of already have a system where you're reinvesting 30% of those profits to kind of go towards the next project. And then you kind of park some in more stable, or you put it back into a mutual fund. Now you're looking long term, and then you use some money to spend, to reward yourself and your family, and then as well as, charitable giving. You want to definitely have those things set in place, as well as taxes, so you already kind of setting stuff aside. So when you're doing this, you're already being mindful, of those things. And it kind of helps you out when you have a plan and a system already in place like that.
Okay, good stuff, good stuff. Don, we're gonna have to do this again in a couple months, because you can't
Yes, sir.
get, like I said, I like running the show short, but you can't get everything in. And I think this is a very important topic to discuss, finances, because regardless of your age, I think you need to put yourself in a position to live comfortably. Okay.
Yes.
Not saying
Legacy.
not saying you got to be a Rockefeller, but you got to live comfortably. So, Don, tell the viewers where and how they can find you.
They can find me on Facebook, under my name, Don Brown, as well as I have a Facebook page, Brown Financial Freedom Legacy, as well as YouTube, not YouTube, but Instagram as well. And me and my good friend Ernest, we definitely just created, a crypto for beginners page, a group to be able to kind of help people that are looking to invest into crypto. We're doing classes, tutorials, and just being able to help people set up accounts. But like if you didn't already have a Coinbase, we're doing videos and stuff like that to kind of give you walkthrough. And in this day and age, YouTube, you can search YouTube, and mostly you're going to find tutorial out there. But we're getting our target people that we can kind of help. We have relationships with that kind of be there to help walk them step by step. And that's pretty much the goal. You know, we want to help families be, you know, financially secure. They have a good plan in place, and then now they can utilize crypto to kind of help them as well.
Okay, good. Great stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So tonight we've had Don Brown, CEO of Brown Financial Freedom Legacy, with us tonight to, you know, just give us a few nuggets on being financially sound, growing financially. You know, it's no reason why you need to slave the rest of your life in your 9 to 5 and not really enjoy life, you know. And I know Don has a lot of different ways that you can invest and, you know, make life a little easier and have that cushion there. So, guys, he told you how to find him. Please go visit him and pick his brain and get some information. And like I said, in a couple months, we'll do this again with him and sit down and learn some more about what we can do to become financial secure. For everyone who likes to talk about politics, I want you to join me and Sharon Ann Tappet tomorrow night on Real World News TV as we talked about the nomination of Judge Brown Jackson to be the next Supreme Court Justice. And we really want to talk about and dig into it. And we know it's going to be crazy up on Capitol Hill starting March the 21st when the actual hearings start to move her nomination forward to be the next Supreme Court Justice, to be the first Black woman as a Supreme Court Justice. So we want to sit back and discuss that. Again, Don, thank you, my man, for being with us tonight. We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.
And like I said, we'll be talking more offline. You know, for everyone that doesn't know, Urban Sentinel Live is a part of the Urban Sentinel magazine. Please go to urbansentinelmagazine.com. Click on the button that says click here for magazine and check out this month's magazine. We have a dynamic director from Hawaii who just produced her first movie in Hawaii, and we did a story on her premiere that took place in Hawaii at the first of the year. So please go check her out. Go check out E.W. Brooks she's the cover of Urban Sentinel magazine for the February and March issue. Okay, my friends, I'm gonna have to say goodnight to you. Take it easy. Don, thank you again. Enjoy talking to you. We're going to do this again. Everyone, have a great week. Be safe out there. You know, do what you got to do, but be safe. Take care and good night.